Good morning and welcome to Volusia County Issues. My name is Eddie Colosimo, also known as Crazy Eddie. My guest this morning is Maureen France, back for her second time. Maureen, thanks for coming back in again.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
I appreciate this, yes.
We're going to be talking about some of the issues in Volusia County, the upcoming election. What's interesting is already we're 18 months out and the campaigns are firing up.
Oh, yeah.
On future shows, we're looking at guests such as Nancy Epps, Dorothy Huckel. Hopefully we're going to get Congresswoman Adams on. Those are just some of the guests that we have scheduled to come on the show.
Great.
We're going to try to give you that insight into everybody that you're going to be looking at to vote for. And also I want to say, if you haven't been invited on the show, you are welcome to call me, Crazy Eddie, with your views, your opinions, and if you want to come on and do an opposing view, if you're an opposing candidate to someone I have on the show, please call me. We're open for everybody. We want to make this fair and unbiased.
And educational.
And educational.
Yep.
And as an old friend of mine says, inspirational.
Yay, rally the troops.
All right, Maureen, let's get back to some of the other things that we didn't cover on our last show. What exactly is your profession and what do you do?
Well, I'll tell you about that. First, I want to remind people that I'm running for state representative in House District 28, just in case they didn't see the previous.
That's right, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, that's okay. So I'm running for that, but that's going to be a sideline, you know, while I keep my main job. Obviously, I have to pay my bills. So for the last 8 years, I've been working for a consortium of emergency physician-owned enterprises. Some people have heard of Duvasaco, our ER physician billing company, which is nationwide. We have about 150 employees here in Volusia County. We have Emergency Medicine Professionals, which is 35 years old here in Volusia County, and we staff 3 emergency departments with our physicians. With Florida Hospital and also at Burt Fish Medical Center down in New Smyrna Beach. So we're very involved in, obviously, emergency medicine here in the county. And we most recently have gotten into a venture of owning and operating urgent care centers around East Volusia. So I'm very involved with marketing, government affairs, community affairs, physician recruitment. So those are the kinds of things I do on a daily basis, and also I am a realtor. I've been a part-time realtor for 27 years in this area.
Keep your plate pretty full.
I do. I like to be busy and I like to work and I enjoy my work, so that's what I spend my time doing.
All right, now you're going to be running for District 28. What exactly what are the parameters of that district? Where do you?
The boundaries?
The boundaries.
Okay, good. It's actually, right now, we're going through redistricting, as you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but I can speak to the current boundaries being Bevel Road in Daytona Beach, south to the Brevard County line. And the other parameters of the boundaries of the district are, we have a strong portion of Lake Helen and Deltona in the west.
Approximately how many people do you have in your voting district?
Well, the ideal is 125,000. That's what the House of Representatives tries to draw the line so that each district has 125,000 people. That doesn't mean voters. That's population.
Right.
Now, voters, I happen to know I have approximately 35,000 Democrats, approximately 35,000 Republicans, and about 19,000 no party affiliation. So it's an evenly divided district, yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to think. Now, you're south of Bevel. Would that include Tomoka Farms?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, you're in my district.
Good. All right, that works for me.
Yes. I like how I assume my district.
Our district.
I am assuming I'm winning, right? So I'm starting early. Assume the win, you know.
What kind of support? Now, I'm sure that you've talked to Republican Party officials. Who is supporting you?
Well, I'll tell you, I actually am very blessed to have the best, I think, helping me on my campaign. I have some folks in Tallahassee that were involved with Jeb Bush's campaigns, Marco Rubio's and Pam Bondi's, and that's how I've gotten to know these folks up in Tallahassee, and so they're my campaign consultants that I've hired, and I'm very pleased with their work and their, vision. That they share my vision, I should say, and I like this firm because they are they like to work with rebels. Let's just put it like that. I mean, they've had a lot of success in House campaigns, electing some folks. In particular, most recently, I think one of them is Maureen O'Toole, who is a gal out of the Villages. And she has shaken it up there in Tallahassee, and I love that. So
where was this firm when I needed them last year?
Yeah, exactly. You need to get them on board. But yeah, I'm excited to have them, and I'm obviously looking for wide support. I'm here to represent all the people in my district, not any one particular faction. So the people can count on me to do that.
That's great. So with all this influence, or all these people that you have in Tallahassee, maybe you can convince a couple of them to come down and be on our show.
I would love to. Absolutely. I would love to have you get Pam Bondi on your show. I tell you what, she's a sharp gal.
She, before she was elected, her people had told me that she was going to come down and be on our show.
Yes, she'll do it. She'll do it.
But, and here's something. When you're elected, where will I be able to get a hold of you?
You'll be able to call me personally. Put that down. Obviously, you do get busy, and you'll have to have help. I'll have to have help, and I'll be looking forward to having some help. But you have to be accessible. You have to,
Thank you.
The open door policy that people talk about, you need to really have it. I mean, one of the things I noticed in the recent years, we're talking before a little bit about unintended consequences of legislation and such. We all thought we wanted so many limits placed on our legislators to not be able to accept a meal or even a bottle of water. That has had a reverse effect, I've noticed in Tallahassee. We have lesser access to our legislators now. When you go up to Tallahassee, if they can't afford to go out to lunch and dinner with you, their constituents, then they don't. So you're relegated to a 3 or 4 minute meeting at best in these legislators' offices. I don't want to do it that way. I'm very blessed to have a good career and well-paying job, and I am a realtor on the side. I have my daughter's in college, my son.
Well, I know you're not making much money on real estate right now.
Well, actually, everything's on sale, so there is a lot of action going on. So I'm pleased with that. I have an excellent partner in my real estate business, Marcia Evans, and so she helps me a lot. But really, I mean, to have an open door policy it goes beyond that. You've got to be able to meet with your constituents. You've got to be able to have the wherewithal to pay for your own lunch now and even a bottle of water. And now you're seeing these receptions that organizations have up there for legislators. No legislators come because they can't afford every day to go out to lunch and dinner and pay the freight, and they don't want to just go there and stand around usually.
That's not exactly where I was going, but thank you for that explanation. But here's where I'm going on this one. When I was campaigning, as you know, I ride my motorcycle all over Volusia County. 7 days a week, those 2 flags are flying, the American flag and the POW flag.
Oh, yeah.
And I would go to some of these forums that we had to go to during the campaign, and I would ask people, how many of you out there have seen me out there in the county?
Yes.
Without doubt, at least half the room would raise their hands. The other half belonged to the people I was running against, so they wouldn't raise their hands.
Right.
And then I'd ask them, when's the last time you saw my opponent? And when will you see my opponent again?
Right.
This election, next election. It seems like our elected officials, once the campaign is over,
yes,
they vanish.
Yes, yes, absolutely
true.
true.
They vanish from sight.
Yes, many times.
And that irritates me.
Oh, yes.
You've got to be accessible to the people.
Well, you know, that's, I think, a little different with me. I'm, you know, part of my job is community affairs, so I'm at all the chamber meetings all the time. I'm, you know, frequently, we're members of all the chambers in Volusia County. I really have a pulse on what's going on in this county, from my community involvement, from my business experience, and, you know, being on civic boards, social service organization, nonprofit boards, you know, United Way. I'm still on the board for the Florida Hospital Foundation and Stuart Marchman Act Foundation. And so, you know, I am out there, I am accessible, and I am seen, you know, and people have said that to me over the years. We see you everywhere, you know, and I'm a parent, you know, I go to my son's games, I work at the football games, and, you know, you'll see me in Publix, and I'm not afraid to stop and talk about any of the issues at any time. Don't try to serve if you don't want to really serve.
Well, let's make something clear to the audience who's not aware. You do not own the racetrack.
No, thank you. No, I am not that France. I'm not
that France.
Yes. Not that I have anything against them, because they are such a fantastic asset to our area in that they are a huge employer.
Right.
But there are issues that, you know, I'm glad that I'm not associated with, and no, I am not related to the France family here.
Yeah, I just thought we'd bring that up.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people would say, oh, okay.
That really is my first question I get anywhere I go.
Is it?
It is. Yeah, people say, are you related to the France family? And my favorite answer is no, but I use that name to get good tables at restaurants in Daytona Beach. Because as soon as they hear France on the excuse me, on the, you know, put it on the list, you usually, oh, right this way, Miss France.
Right. That's, you know, like the guy that walks into the restaurant and the maitre d' comes up and he says, and your name is? Well, I'm Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
Well, I get a good table right away. And now that doesn't fly.
Well, all you have to do is say you're Crazy Eddie, and they should escort you right to the penthouse.
They escort me right to the back door.
When they see those flags coming, they run for the hills, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For some of the people who didn't see our show last week, I'm going to go over some of the questions and things that we covered last week on our last show.
Sure.
Let's go back to just where, let's have some of your political background.
Okay. Well, I started out when I was 19 working on the Ronald Reagan campaign in college. I was a college Republican. I later worked as a legislative aide to several different legislators here in Florida. That was back in the days when the Republican Party was the minority party, so I've seen it on both ends. I later was a congressional aide to a member of Congress from South Florida. So I've had a lot of experience in the lawmaking process. I've always been an active public participant, you know, and I've taken my civic duties very seriously. We talked last time about where that came from, and a lot of it actually came from Arlington National Cemetery and my parents taking us there as a family many times when we were young.